Okay. YouTube is indicating that I'm live. You know, I just saw the comment about the, I'll have to go get the skateboard. It's over there across the room. But yeah, I could do skateboard stuff, and I have the tracing block here. So yeah, those things can happen. I'm not going to do any game playing tonight. I'm just going to do some babbling about crap and doing some triggers. So, hey, Geekswall, how's it going? Welcome. Okay, let's see who everybody's here around the blocks here. Hey, how's it going? Doggo gods. Doggo gods. Doggo gods. I can't remember how to say that. Sorry. Hey, Rich, how's it going? And 005K. I'm not sure how to pronounce that either. Hey, aloha. Yeah. I'm going to make some amount. I don't know. I need a drink of water. I'm going to be making some announcements about how I'm going to be altering the Patreon. It'll kind of roll out over a period of time, but yeah. So I want to wait till there's more people here, though. Hey, Rob, how's it going? Thanks for the flowers. Hey, Nasal Penny. Good to see you. And see, so what we'll be doing tonight, except for my babbling. Hey, Kate Manday, good to see you. Be doing some brushing, beard brush, tracing on the Labradorite. I got the jar with the chopstick. I got my brushes. I got the crinkle bag with the green suit, and I got the new big weird bubble wrap pad that I quite like. Oh, and I got some. Did I get anything else new? No, I guess that's the most recent thing that's new. So, as far as crinkling goes, Patreon updates, yeah. Hey, Jed, how's it going? It didn't hyperlink? What didn't hyperlink? I'm not sure what you're talking about, Kate Manda. Hey, Stephanie, how's it going? Well, it's good that you're back, Stephanie. It's all right. It's all good, baby. What's that? What's Kojak? That's the thing. He was always calling everybody baby until he saw us in that. Who loves you, baby? Oh, thanks, Kate Manda. Yeah, I don't know that YouTube lets you do links in the chat on live. They're pretty strange about where they allow links and where they don't. And I don't really remember where it all is and all of that. So, I'm not the best guy to ask about it, truthfully. I just know that, like, for a while, until I actually crossed the threshold so that I was, that I could monetize, although they still won't let me, that I had to wait until that happened before I could put links in the description. It's like, I don't know why they make all these things work that way. I don't know. I don't see what difference it makes to them. So how many people do we have here? 18 people. I wonder if I should give it, a little bit of time before I do the thing. So what will I do today before I start talking about the Patreon stuff? So, I think just while I'm yeah, Rich, I do make money from the old channel. So actually, I would encourage all you guys to go watch my old channel, because that one is monetized. And you can also do the thanks and all that stuff there. Yeah. Actually, the weekend's been okay. We had a break for, I guess, starting... Actually, I guess it started the day before yesterday, but I had other things going on. But so yesterday, I was able to... get outside and redo the front yard so I could relay the tarps, because I missed my opportunity to plant those wildflower seeds because of rain came before I, it's like, okay, it's time for you to take up the tarp. So I took up the tarp, but then like the next day it started raining, and it rained till I missed my window of, when they suggest that you should plant the seeds by for having planted them prior to winter. So I'm going to wait and do them. I guess, let's see, they're already up. I just did it. Well, let's just say it was yesterday. So I guess 2 weeks from March 20th is when because I'm going to do it for 6 weeks again. And then I'll pull up the tarps and then I'll plant the seeds. And hopefully everything will be fine for that. What am I don't know. What am I doing? I have no idea what I'm doing. How about the brush? Okay, what do we got going on here? Missing comments. Oh, my weekend is, yeah, that's right. I already just answered that. It's about doing the gardening. You have a golden paper in it. Oh, axolotl. Yeah. Wow. Wait, what now? The rain in... Yeah, I love the sun too. I really do. That's one thing I do miss about Southern California is that, beach weather is great. And, I think I've not told you guys before, but I was never really a big water sports guy. But I love to go to the beach just to hang out. I mean, sometimes I get out in the water and splash around or maybe do a little swimming. And I did go a couple of times with a friend that was very into just doing snorkeling. And so we went over to La Jolla Cove to do that a couple of times. Yeah, the water's kind of murky there, so you don't really get to see as much as you'd like, I don't think. Or maybe it was just murky the days we were there, but yeah. Purple broccoli, wow, and yellow watermelon. That's fantastic. Right now I'm just in this whole, flower kick. Although I think after I get, more progress, well, assuming I can, make more money, everything's on hold now. I mean, I'm going to be planting these seeds because I already bought them. But gardening is, as far as investing money into it, is going to be on the back burners until I can, get my income back under control after losing the channels. I keep hope that I got another email from the BBB today, or no, yesterday, saying that, I guess it was Friday, sorry, saying that they're still working, or they're still trying to work on it, or I don't remember exactly the way they worded on it, but so, I don't know, I don't think they're ever going to get anywhere, to be honest. I think Google/YouTube just doesn't give a crap about what anybody else thinks about anything. I think that well, I've said before, I don't think they care about me as a creator, they care about the channel, So, 25 degrees, that's crazy cold. On either end of the spectrum. No, I guess that's not cold in Celsius. So that's pretty warm in Celsius, isn't it? Because what is it? Say 25. Was it divided by 5 is 5 times 9 is 45 plus 32. So that's 77 or some shit like that. Do you get out to the beach much, Cape Manda? Because you're a bit inland, I would imagine, yeah? Okay, I'm going to do a little bit of brushing. How many still have the 18 people? Oh, I didn't start the clocks off. Time to do that. Let me do that. Been babbling here for like 9 minutes and I didn't do the clocks. Let's do the clocks. I know Rob's going to be disappointed now. All right, there they go. So you guys are going to get a little like extra 9 minutes or whatever it was. That's okay. I'll survive. Holy mackerel, 29. That's nuts. That's just nuts. Anything below freezing is just... when I was in the Netherlands the first time, I was in the winter, although it was apparently a fairly mild winter when I was there. And it got cold. I mean, it got below freezing a couple of times, but not for very long. I suspect it's because of the water. I think probably the Netherlands is able to, stay more moderate as compared to other things around them because of that. Oh, wow. In Daytona. So you're going to go down there for spring break? Kate Manna's going to go down and are you going to do the Girls Gone Wild things? Do they still do those anymore for spring break? I picked 220 because it just seemed like a good number for me. I wanted it to be more than 2 hours, but I thought, all right, I'll just do, because I wanted to do 20 minutes is a good amount of time for me to do for my back. Anyway, so yeah, I don't know, I just made it up. That's all it is to it. I did a couple that were longer than that, and my back was kind of going, dude, you need to, beard brushing? Yeah, I can do beard brushing now while I'm babbling about it, can't I? Right on, Kate Manda. So, I guess, well, I kind of am feeling a little bit antsy, so maybe I will go ahead and start talking about what's going to happen for the Patreon, so you guys can, actually I'll do more beard brushing, after I'm done talking. I'm going to drink water. So, so there's going to be some changes to both regular old YouTube and to the Patreon. I guess where do I start? Okay, so if you're just watching normal YouTube, on every Monday will be a gaming video Monday, as people have kind of got used to. However, Mind Test will only be the first Monday of the month. There will be mind tests every Monday, but I'll get to that in a second. So what will happen is on the first Monday of every month, there'll be a mind test Monday, and then the subsequent Mondays of the month will be stuff like Mastermind, Enigma, etc. that you guys are already familiar with me playing. And so Mondays will always be gaming days. Otherwise, I'll just do, a couple of videos here and there, probably one, maybe 2 videos a month, like that. I mean, that's kind of more or less what I do now, isn't it? And it'll probably stick with that. And so, and the ones that I do that are not Mondays will be this, like, maybe the backgammon or solitaire or a storybook thing, or, that kind of stuff. I'm going to try to get myself into the habit. I can't just quite seem to get my head around doing it. I mean, I understand how to do it. I just can't, I don't know, convince my brain to remember to do it and then do it, is to do shorts. I want to start trying to do a short per every video, because I see them as kind of, I think I want to try and make them be fun and a little bit humorous, but I think they're good ads for driving, traffic. I was hoping that I could, via YouTube, link to videos in my old channel, but apparently I can't do that. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that, though. I still might make videos about my old channel videos. I don't know. I'll try to figure something out about that. Anyway, so let's back to the YouTube and the Patreon thing. So on regular old YouTube, so that's what I guess the biggest change for regular old YouTube is going to be probably a few more shorts. Well, definitely a few more shorts, and fewer Mind Test Mondays. Just as that. Now, having said that, that leads me to the changes on Patreon. So in my Patreon right now, there is a free level that doesn't really do much of anything, and a $1 level, which doesn't do anything either. It's just a tip jar. Otherwise, the advantage to it is you can, it's another place for you to, send me a message or something like that. I'm hoping to get more, active in there. Well, not hoping, I'm going to be getting more active in there. So to start with, Phase 1, which will be rolling out the first Monday of March here, coming up soon, assuming I'm kind of working on all this stuff now, so hopefully it'll work out the way I want. So for a free membership, you'll be able to watch, because there's going to be a Mind Test Monday every single Monday. But if you want to see them on the ones that aren't just on the first of the month, you have to come and see them at Patreon, and you can see them on the free level, and they'll come out every Monday. So now, for the the dollar member Patreon, what you're basically going to do is buy convenience. So I'm actually going to have all of the videos for that month, on all of the Monday videos, I mean, will be uploaded by the first Monday, and so that and they'll be scheduled. So, you know, like on YouTube, that, you know, everything that rolls out will roll out, and also the Mind Test Mondays will, you know, for the free people, will roll out, you know, so you can see that, oh, it's coming up soon, that kind of thing. However, for the dollar, you'll be able to watch all of those videos on that first Monday of the month. So if you wanted to binge watch everything at the beginning of the month, then, you know, that costs you $1. So Whisper Wednesday will appear every once in a while. Yeah. You know, I mean, it's, you know, when you see how I do it now, it's kind of whimsical. I don't do it every mastermind, but, you know, yeah. So Mastermind Whisper Wednesdays will still occur. Yeah, so that's basically it for the $1 level. Now, for the $2 level, that's where I'm going to be doing more of the extra videos that are like the, you know, show and tells, and, you know, playing, you know, backgammon and stuff like that. There will be more of those in Patreon than there will be free on YouTube. And if you want access to those videos, that's going to cost you $2 a month. And partially because the ones that I do behind the Patreon wall, I'm going to do a little bit differently than I have done, in the sense I'm not going to, like, usually what I do is I make a video, I start the video, I make the video, I edit the video, I publish the video, right? I just kind of do it all in kind of a string. I've been doing that just because it vibes with my mind about, you know, I don't know, I guess partly it's due to my being an improvisational musician kind of guy. Anyway, so, but I'm not going to be doing that so much anymore. I'm just going to be doing, you know, preloading everything, so allow me to, you know, release everything up. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit more time to make the videos that are the extra videos on the Patreon. I'm not going to get slick, you know what I mean? I'm not interested in being Hollywood slick. That's never going to happen. But I just like, for when I do story reading for behind the Patreon wall, I'll probably take more takes and get better camera angles. You know, just put a little more time into it so it feels a little bit more intimate, a little bit more nice, that kind of thing. So, you know, so there's the $2 level. And you get everything else and all the other stuff too, right? You know, just, you know, so the $1 level is included in the $2 level. And so you're really just paying $1 more, right? For the, you know, for the extra videos. And then there's going to be a $5 level. The $5 level is going to be a thing that I'm sure I've talked about it in front of you guys before. I just don't remember when and how deeply. But I've had a couple of messages from people, both, you know, in the Patreon chat and also, you know, privately, and even in the email and all that kind of stuff, where people have suggested that they would like it if I read, you know, erotic stuff. So not safe for work type stuff. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to, at least initially, it'll probably evolve over time, I'm going to be reading Victorian era literature porn. So if you're interested in that, that's going to cost you $5 a month. And you'll probably get one a month tops of those. So, but I feel, you know, adult stuff is what adult stuff is, and you have to pay extra for it. That's really all there is to it. I'm kind of thinking I'll probably do okay with that. You know what I mean? I think people will, you know, for those people who are interested in not safe for work type stuff, you know, anyway, so my hope is that, you know, that will generate me some income, you know, since it doesn't seem that I'm ever going to be able to get YouTube to, you know, do anything for me. I don't know, unless anybody has any great ideas about how to convince YouTube to help me. So, you know. Anyway, so does anybody have any questions about that? That's the new regime for, you know, what I'm planning to do for YouTube. Now, here's the thing. The $2 level and the $5 level won't be ready for the 1st of March. But as soon as I have videos for them is when I'll turn those on. So I think I'll wait till I have like 2 or 3 of the, you know, the better $2 type tier videos. Like, I want to wait till I at least have 2 of them up before I turn that on. And the minute I have one up for the $5 one, I'll turn that on. Because I figure, you know, if you want horny type stuff, then, you know, you're going to have to pay for the horny type stuff. Oh, also, I haven't figured out how I'm going to do it yet, and this is still an iffy thing. So this is, you know, I'm just to set your expectations appropriately. this may or may not happen. But I'm going to look into, seeing what I like about Discord, and I might have some stuff available on Discord. And again, there will be probably, depending on how I like it or what's going on over there, I might have both a free and one that's for the paid tiers on Patreon. But you'll get the links if you want to go to regardless of what I do on Discord, if I do it. So if I do it on Discord, then the links you'll have to go through Patreon. I won't put those on YouTube. Right. The main thing is I'm just trying to drive traffic to the Patreon to see if people will, pay me money, basically, because since YouTube doesn't really, well, they do, but not much. I'm not even sure I'll break the $100 threshold this month, which is like ridiculously. Yeah, I was poor before, but now I'm even more poor. Oh, the $2 level is going to be the extra videos. So I shouldn't call them extra videos. So, stuff like, the stuff that aren't game videos, right? There's going to be more of them there on the Patreon, and I'm going to take more time to make those, is how that's going to work around the block. So you're basically paying $1 extra to get access to, better versions of story time and stuff like that. So if those things appeal to you, then you just pay an extra $1 a month, and then you get access to that. And then, so there it is. I need to catch up on comments now. Okay. I don't have anything. I don't know about the solitaire video, when that's going to come up yet. I'm working right now just to make sure I get everything up for the Monday thing. I have everything recorded now, and I only have one thing edited. That's all I got, done this morning. So I don't know. But I'll try to be, as I get better at this and get the schedule more kind of ironed out, and so it makes sense. I'll be able to announce things more frequently, and hopefully by the time I get it, kind of just humming along, excuse me, it'll just go as I want it to go, and like that. Okay, the Order of Darkness. I may end up sending a message to you about that, because I've been on Discord, and I've interacted with a couple of people there, but that's really all I've done. So I don't have a server there or anything like that yet. But it is my intent to I'll probably call it Bill with a Beard or something like that. I don't remember even what my handle is there. So I have no idea. I have to. Possibly Gordito Benito. That's probably true. What's likely to happen is on Masterminds, on the behind the Patreon thing, they'll probably every time get a Whisper Wednesday, whereas you'll just probably every once in a while get it for free on YouTube. I'm trying to find a balance, because truthfully, I'd rather not have to have things behind a paywall. And I don't know, maybe in time, if I get enough people on the Patreon thing, I'll just make everything be one price, like at $1 again. And only, whatever, I don't know. It all depends on, finances and money and the market and whatever the hell. And by the market, I don't mean the stock market. I mean the market of, what people are willing to pay for. And as far as the YouTube thing goes, or the videos on YouTube goes. And I also haven't figured out whether the Patreon stuff, it might stay housed on Patreon, or I might put it on YouTube, but put it having links that you won't be able to get the links unless you go to Patreon. So I'm not sure exactly how I'll manage all that yet. I haven't ironed out the specific details yet, because I'm still in the production phase right now, as far as getting all the videos done, and that's really only, so I have till next Sunday. Oh, is that what I am? Bill Postman on Discord? Thanks, Kate Manda. See, you know better than I do. I swear I think some of you guys, Kate Manda included, know my stuff and whatever better than I do, just in general. I'm kind of a bit of an absent-minded character, but Thanks, Geekswall. Oh, okay, around the block, Gav C. All right, I'll try to remember that that's what that is. Okay, cool. Well, hopefully next Saturday I'll just be announcing, something along the lines of, yep, it's ready to go. All you got to do is, go whatever and join. So, I mean, that's my goal. Oh, yeah, Patreon's a website. That's all they are, Stephanie. But basically what it is, well, it does a couple of things. One thing it does is it allows people to be a patron of creators. And, yeah, it is an app too, I guess. But, I think it's funny the way everybody, separates out that you call a thing an app or whether or not, whatever. But anyway, yeah. Yeah, but so its function serves, the part of the initial purpose of what it does is it allows people to be a Patreon for their favorite creators. But then, they now also do more things than that, where, basically just business interaction between me as a creator and then you guys is what it is, because there's money involved, right? That's why I say business. But it's, so like some people I think can, because there's all these little things in the back end about you should try this, you should try that. So they really have it set up so like I could sell stuff. You know what I mean? If I had products to sell, like if I had T-shirts and coffee mugs and that kind of thing, which I've ever thought about doing, but I just don't know if that suits my brand, so to speak. You know what I mean? Oh, that brings me to another thing. Here's the thing I have thought of doing. I hope that answered your question, Stephanie. I have been thinking of, and this is a ways off in the future just because I have too many things on my plate right now. But I like doing paper mache. Actually, I'll show you a thing that, well, maybe not. I guess it's not over where I thought it was. Anyway, I like doing paper mache, and I just don't do it that often because it's a mess. But I was thinking of, I had some ideas for some interesting paper mache objects that I was thinking of making, and then film myself making them. And then I was thinking of, like, after I'm done with the object, either make it as part of a prize in like a contest, or I'd put it up for auction on eBay or something like that. And that maybe a couple of times a year I'd make some weird sculpture using paper mache. And then, yeah, either, like I said, either it'll be a prize or I'd auction it off. So I don't know whether you'd be interested in that or not, but, like I said, it's only a maybe, and if it does happen, it'll be a ways in the future. Pop, 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 pop. And so I guess that's about it. Unless anybody has some questions about the new regime, which I'm happy to answer, of course. Okay. In the meantime, wait a minute, hang on. Yeah, basically, Stephanie, if you follow the link, it'll take you to the site, and then you have the option of, joining, and whatever their tiers are. Patreon automatically gives people a free tier. I don't know if it can be turned off or not. I haven't looked into it because I'm going to use it. I'm going to take advantage of it. So, yeah, there's the thing, right? I'm also trying to hope that I can get better at the whole community building thing. I mean, I like what we have going on here on Saturdays. Oh, that brings me to another thing. A lot of people have been, again, via comments and sending me messages and emails and things, asking if and when I might do live streams on some schedule other than the Saturday night at 8 p.m. thing, because there's just too many people. Oops, there it goes. Okay, I'm going to take a break. Let me do a thing here real quick to stop that thing making its horrible noise. All right. Well, I guess you guys can't hear it, I don't think, because I don't think it's hooked up to you guys, but I hear it. Anyway, so enjoy Ben's Be Right Back banner, and I'll be back in just a minute or so. And I am back. And oops, I gotta kick off the other break thing going there. I usually kick it off as soon as I go to the break, just that way I can keep everything going at 20 minutes and kind of keep everything lining up reasonably well. So I guess I'm about a minute out. Anyway, I'm back, and look what I brought. Okay, so we'll be doing this later. Let me set this down here. Just here, I'll set it like that. Don't go rolling off, please. Thank you. There we go. Thanks, Mr. Pickles. Actually, you should thank Ben if he shows up tonight. Our friend Ben from Sweden. He's the one that made that for me. That's okay, Kate Amanda. It's not you're not obligated to keep an eye on the chat. I mean, I appreciate all of your efforts because you kind of keep things moving along and remind people about various things, as well as a lot of times answer questions, that are the easy questions that, well, the stuff that you know the answer to. I appreciate the fact that you do answer them for me sometimes. All right, so okay, yeah, I guess that's it. So I'm gonna be doing some tapping, or not tapping, some brushing on the microphone for a minute, and then yeah, I guess that'll just be that. Hey Derek, how's it going? I mean, crocheting is such a cool old school thing. My grandmother was really, really into crocheting. Like everything in her house had a doily under it. Like her lamps and vases on the shelves, and she just went crazy with it. She was really good at it. She really enjoyed it. And she would occasionally make stuff just to, give people as a cute little gift for, every now and again. I don't know if she ever knitted. I don't remember seeing her knit, though. But man, she really liked crocheting. I think she did it as kind of a form of meditation, you know what I mean? Because she would just get into it and just be... Yeah, I think that what you just said, it's relaxing. I think that's probably what the appeal was for my grandmother. And plus you end up with a cool thing when you're done. Like she would make scarves and doilies, and those are the things she made the most, were scarves and doilies. But she would get all these really cool yarns that were like dyed in an odd way, so that when you did it, it would create these kind of patterns in it. You know what I mean? I don't know if I can add. I'm not explaining it very well, but yeah, she would go to these places and ooh, that's a good yarn for crocheting, and be these like multicolored strands of yarn, and then you get this cool patterns. I don't know. Wow, cardigans. That's crazy cool. Hey, Scrubby Dutch. I'm doing okay, man. How are you? All right, let's get the bigger brush out for a minute. Oh, did I? Yes, I did bring the good old piece of wood, so I have the piece of wood too, so. Well, that's weird. I wonder what the Seems like there's some internal noise happening. I don't know what that's about. I don't like seeing internal noise because my interface is not that old. It's like, I think it's less than a year old, to be honest, because I had it's a Focusrite 8i6, and I had been using the Focusrite 2i2, just because it's just 2 mics in, and that's all this one is 2 mics in, but it has 4 line-in inputs and 4 outputs, whereas the 2i2 only had 2 inputs, 2 outputs, but the line inputs on the back allow me to plug in my keyboard and my guitar equipment, stuff like that, without having to, take up a preamp, you know what I mean? Especially if I'm only going to use 2, because I'm only ever me in here, right? I don't ever have anybody else in here to do any recording. It's like there's no bands or anything like that coming in here, so. Oh, here, I know why I ever thought to do this. How does this sound? You can hear a humming? I'm gonna... Is it bad enough that I should, put things into the be right back mode and try and trace it down, or is it livable? Okay. Thanks, Stephanie. Well, if it gets too bad, let me know, and I'll see if I can sort something out. My suspicion is that there's some kind of ground gremlin in here somewhere. Man, I would really like to get a power supply, not just for like backup power supply type thing, but one that gives me an isolated circuit of clean electricity, so there'd be no ground problems or anything like that. But good ones of those aren't super cheap, and so I'm gonna have to wait. I'm gonna wait until I can afford to get a good one. I haven't even really seriously shopped for one. Maybe I should, because, well, I don't have any money, so I'm not gonna now, but maybe after I can get my income sorted out. Okay, let me see about... Okay, thanks, Lima. It's just the brush on the mic. Okay. Do a wish list. Oh, right. I'm not even sure how that works, to be honest. I've never used a wish list. Oh, actually, I don't know. I wonder if Sweetwater does wish lists. Because I buy almost all my stuff from Sweetwater. And actually that started because I had often just bought stuff from whatever music store I could, whatever. And which often meant Guitar Center. But Guitar Center, this one in San Francisco, when I was living over there, that's when I started using Sweetwater's, because their customer service just sucked. They just absolutely sucked. Everybody in there was like jerks. And it's like none of them wanted to be there, right? They were all musicians that were working at, Guitar Center as their day job. But they all saw themselves as being way too important, you know what I mean? Anyway, so then what did I buy? I think it was the Focusrite. I think that was the first thing I bought from them. And it came, and then eventually I bought the JBL monitors. And that was kind of the thing that made me go, okay, I'm just going to use use Sweetwater's, because one of the JBL monitors showed up, and they're just they're low level, they're entry level JBLs, so they're not. Don't get too excited, but they do make a good product. I'm very, very pleased with them. I mean, they punch way above their weight class. Anyway, one of them showed up, and there was just this crappy little noise that kept coming in, like right in the middle of the vocal range. You know what I mean? Just this like, and it was like, what? And it was just, no, I can't have that. So I sent the guy that's my sales rep, because they give you a sales rep, right? So even if you're just a nobody like me. Anyway, so I contacted them and said, hey, look, I just got these things. They just came in the other day, and I got them hooked up, and I got this noise in one of the things. And he said, well, box it up and send it back. And I said, okay, I'll have to, because I saved the box that it came in, right? You know what I mean? Just because I tend to do that for like when I move, it's just easier for me to put stuff back into the box it came in. Although it means I have to store the boxes someplace. But anyway, he just said, send it back. And so I was like, okay, I'll send it back. And I'm thinking, okay, I got to wait for the thing to get all the way there. Then they're going to sort out what's wrong with it, and then they'll send me a new one, kind of thing. And they had sent the new one out before I sent this one back. I got a notice on my email, and I hadn't taken it down to the UPS store to ship off yet, which they gave me. I didn't have to pay for that. They, emailed me a thing, so I could, print up a tag and, just tape it on the box, and they would get it. You know what I mean? And so, you know what I mean? So, like, I could have been a jerk, right, and just lied to them, They sent it out, bing, bang, boom. And every time I've had a question about anything, or, I just, that is, well, like before I bought the 8i6, I was like, okay, what am I going to expect when I get this thing, kind of thing, whatever. And they're nice. They answer your questions. They treat you well. Their prices are competitive, I'll say that. Let me see if I can. Yeah, Sweetwater does good videos for explaining this stuff, and of course, I like to. Well, here's the thing I really like to do is when I'm indulging in various substances that are plants, and I'm listening to music while I'm doing that, I will go to the Sweetwater website and just fetish guitars. I'll just like, oh, look at that. That looks so cool. Man, I want me one of them. I would love to get like a bunch more Rickenbackers, just because I really love Rickenbackers. That's my main guitar, is my Rickenbacker 620. And I just have the way they play, their sound, everything about Rickenbackers I really like. And they do more than just the jangly birds type sounds. I don't mean birds like animals, I mean birds like the band. Because they were one of the bands back in the 60s that used Rickenbackers pretty frequently, especially Rickenbacker 12 strings. And I think so did Buffalo Springfield and those types of guys too. I'm not sure, but anyway, let me get back on the comments here. Okay, here we go. Okay, I'll have to look into the Furman. I'm not sure how to spell it either. I've heard their name though. Yeah, that's the thing, Rich. I want to wait till I can actually get a good one. Let's see. Okay, if I put up links to items, yeah. Guitar Center's the worst. Oh yeah, they scammed me too. That was one of the things that really annoyed me there. I had this little Digitech multi-effect thing. It's pretty cheap little doodad I just bought, so I could play in my living room, right? And actually, I quite like the thing. It's it's really pretty groovy. But it was on sale, and the guy wasn't paying attention when he rang me up and I left. It was just like, and when I got home, it's like, hey, wait a minute. He didn't give me the sale price. He charged me the full price. So I called him, and it was like a huge deal. I had to go down there to get them to refund me the difference for the, you know what I mean? It's like, you can see right there, because it's your store. You know what the sale price is. You can see what you charged me. You can see that essentially that's illegal. You know what I mean? I had to go down there and be a jerk to get them to give me I don't remember, it wasn't a bunch of money, but it was enough that it made me mad, I mean, I don't think it was even $50. You know what I mean? Because I think the thing was probably only $200, or maybe even less than that. You know, actually, it had to be less than that. You know, anyway. Man, see, yeah, they're just, I don't know. I'm sorry about this. Well, I mean, I can commiserate with you, Kate, man, on that nonsense. It's just yikes. Oh, right, yeah, they're in Indiana. Yeah. Wait, is that the Easter Island heads there, Mr. Pickles? Okay, anyway, let's do some more beard brushing. So I'll actually start with this little bit on the beard itself. Now let's go to this side a little bit. Well, they won't hire you because I see on their website they have a big thing about you. You know, you shop here, why not work here? I mean, I think that's exactly one of the things they have on their website. It's usually down a ways. You got to scroll down to see it. But you know, have you seen the stuff where they show off the recording facilities they have there? I mean, it's there to show off gear, but it's like functioning recording studio. That's crazy cool. And they like to let the employees get a certain amount of access to it, which is like, what? That's a really nice studio. You're welcome, Stephanie. I didn't realize it was your favorite. Have you told me that before and I just forgot? I'm going to have to start taking notes on what everybody's favorites are, you know? I'm going to have to start doing that now, though, just while we're still a small group. You know, my hope is to, of course, grow our community to be ginormous. I mean, I know I've said it before, but I'll say it again, it is my ultimate fantasy to be able to have a broad enough fan base that, you know, that I could get 100,000 people to just give me $1 a year. You know what I mean? That's the ultimate fantasy for Bill MaxVoxPax. Oh man. Yeah, I guess so. The moving distance thing. Yeah. I hadn't even thought about that. Oh, we're getting down to about a minute, so I'll just do this until the next break comes. And then, I don't know, I'll think of something else to do. Hey Dylan, how's it going? Well, you know, oddly enough, Stephanie, I'm kind of in the same boat. I mean, well, I came back here. It was when my mom was still alive. And it was also while I was working Aero Paper, but I had to leave that job because of my back. But so my thinking was at the time I had savings and all that, so I was going to come here, get settled in, and then, you know, just find another job in the packaging industry just because I knew everything so well. You for several years. I guess probably about 10 years, 10, 11 years, something like that I worked there. It was a place called Arrow Paper, and I ran their website that was called discountshoppingbags.com for them. But I also did all the warehouse stuff for the website too. I mean, making sure everything was ordered properly, making sure everything got out. Oops, there we go. Time for the break. Okay. Anyway, so I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. And let's see, what have I missed? That's why you're still married. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, well, yeah, I guess to finish up my story thing is that I couldn't get a job. Nobody wanted to hire me. Not at all. I mean, even when I started just looking at crappy jobs. And actually, I was going to get a job at Home Depot, which wasn't really my favorite place, but, you know, a job's a job, right? And the HR lady who was interviewing me called in the person who was going to be my supervisor, and then she introduced me, and it was like they were ready to, like, let's get the paperwork started. We'll hire you right now, and you can start next Monday. And I was like, yeah, that'd be great. The problem is they needed me to do a drug test, and I said, okay, well, here you go. And this was before California had fully legalized marijuana, but it was under medical, and I had a medical card for my marijuana, except for Home Depot adhered to federal laws, not state laws. Something about the owner's perspective or whatever, I guess. And I said, well, I won't, can I, wait, a week and come back, because I won't pass it now. I just smoked weed yesterday. And they're like, no, see, now we know. And it's like that, and I was like, it's like, I don't know, I suppose they could have lied for me, but I guess they just didn't feel like they're doing that. And I don't know, it was kind of kind of sucked. Anyway. Anyway, so let's see what more. Let's stop bemoaning things and let's see. Well, let's do the good old chunk of wood. Do some tapping. Start with the pads of my fingers, as is my habit, I suppose. Well, they're doing something upstairs. Let's hope it doesn't get NSFW. Oh, but anyway, I guess I was talking about moving back home, right? So I moved back home, but because my mom had poor health, and the idea is I came back home in order to be at the house. So my sister also moved back home, so that we could both be here for the last bit of time with my mom. So I guess I was able to be here with her for the last year and a half of her life. So that was worth it. But by then, yeah, I couldn't get a job, whatever, and I ran out of savings. All my savings went into, because I took over the garage and sort of the basement area to make this little living space project studio. So I spent a bunch of money on that, and also other stuff needed to be done around the house, and a couple of other people needed help with money. And anyway, so there went my savings, which it wasn't ginormous anyway. I've made a lot of errors in my life, so. it's like, I don't know. I'm of the mind that people should be able to do whatever they want as far as, recreational, intoxication. As long as they don't, if you screw up and you hurt somebody, then you're, liable both criminally and, financially. And, all of that, right? Just make people, take responsibility for themselves. But other than that, why do you care? Oh, you're welcome, Stephanie. See, I don't like that fast stuff either. If I find that it's like harsh. So I like to either do it kind of slow like this, or if I'm going to do it any faster than this, I try to do it in a way that I find musical. You know what I mean? If that makes any sense. My worst investment with money. I didn't really do any, specialized investment. I invested in a couple of fund things that I ended up having to take the money out of. I also and I had some money in other banking things that were, those ones that you had to leave there for a certain amount of time kind of thing. I don't even remember what you call the fucking things. Yeah. That's the thing, though. I wasn't ever very good with money. Because, during the period of time that I was making money, when I made a lot of money, was when I was doing the computer programming. But that was also, during that time period, I was, a fucked up blackout drunk. I mean, that's really what it was. Well, that and being bipolar that was undiagnosed. So being, an undiagnosed bipolar human that was a blackout drunk, you're going to make a lot of bad choices. Yeah, that's the thing, Rich. Just as long as you can show up and do your work, what does anybody else care? Or, in anything, right? It's not just work, but your relationships. Or if you start being a jerk, then you need help, and then, you should get medical help, because that's what it is. If you can't handle it, it means you have some kind of physiological issue or behavioral issue, which is physiological, isn't it? I mean, your brain is part of your body, I think we need to look at these things in a more human manner and, like, compassionate manner, and if people need help, give them help. And if they're just screwing up, then figure out the right way of dealing with them, Oh yeah, I imagine they do take it super seriously in aviation, don't they? I mean, the stakes are high there, aren't they? I mean, that's the thing, right? That's like it's safer to fly in planes because of, the odds and all of that is fantastic. But the downside is when it does go bad, it goes bad, right? So let's just not flirt with that, yeah. Yeah, I mean that's when because I did a chemical dependency thing for what's it, the chemical dependency recovery program at Kaiser, and I haven't drank since. But yeah, that's one of the things they kept, kind of like, look, it's not that you're a bad person, it's that you have issues that need dealing with, That's fantastic. Yeah, I got sober, I guess the July prior to starting this channel, so what is that, 2012 till now. Was that 14 years? Well, it will be 14 years this September, I guess. Well, there you go, around the block. Thanks. All right, I'm going to do my nails for a little bit too. You know, Rich, I was a variable drunk. Sometimes I would get mean, although that was typically rare. But when I did, I went off the hook with it, man, you know. Usually I was just, I don't know, just drunk. Man, I had this one friend that was a guy that I used to drink with a lot back in the day when I lived in San Diego. And he became one of those guys that just loves you. You know what I mean? After he had a certain number of drinks, he was like, you know, Bill, man, I love you, brother. And it was just like, dude, I know. Yikes. Well, I'm glad I could help out there, Reiko. Yeah, I never got into. Well, there's the thing. My thing is just booze. I can do other things, and I don't. It doesn't matter. You know what I mean? Because I don't. I can drop them. I just don't use them. Whatever. I don't really care. But booze for the man. There's the thing. Like there were times I could just have a drink, and maybe go out to dinner with my parents and have a couple of drinks like that, and then maybe one, when I got home and call it done. But. There's also a way bigger than 50% chance that, once I had a drink, it's like, you're off to the races. I mean, the truth is any amount of alcohol is bad for you. Alcohol is just insidious. It's one of the few things that can actually break through the blood-brain barrier, right? It can get into your mitochondrial parts of your cells. It will totally screw you in ways that are, really, really bad. So, if you're going to do it, that's on you. But, just be careful, Don't screw yourself over, That would be the only thing I would say. Around the block, one of my things was I would hide fifths of peppermint schnapps in my backpack for work. That way I could, get away with taking slugs in the bathroom or on my cigarette breaks or whatever, you know what I mean? God, the crap that we do, man. Thanks, Around the Block. Yeah, I mean, when I started doing the live streams is when I really started thinking about this as a community and not just me, putting up videos for the hell of it. And I decided pretty early on that I was going to be honest and upfront and kind of as transparent as I could comfortably be with you guys, Here we go. What are we going to do now? We got like 5 minutes. Here, what I will do now on the end grain of the good old chunk of wood. My favorite YouTubers to watch. Lately, I've been watching a certain amount of the slow-mo guys. I also watched several episodes that, I guess maybe not several, but a few episodes. They did some with this guy, Kentucky Ballistics, where they shot stuff with large firearms. What did he call it? He had this thing, I think it's called a punt gun. Is that right? That doesn't sound right. Anyway, it's this rifle that's just this, it's essentially a cannon, really. But apparently they used to use it for shooting birds. Like, you just point this huge thing up at a flock of birds and boingo, you have, a bunch of them are coming down. I think it's called, I think it's called a punt gun. What else do I like that I've been watching lately? Just kind of random crap, to be honest. Well, I like watching Richard Osman's House of Games or Taskmaster. I've really been enjoying the Taskmaster New Zealand, but I like the original one with Greg Davis and Alex Horn. Although I wonder what Alex Horn is like in real life, because, man, sometimes on the show he's really annoying. And I'm sure he plays it up because it's part of the character for the show, but I like Greg Davis a lot. I think he's a funny guy. Welsh bastard. Oh, thanks, Signal. Do I have any personal favorite ASMR triggers? Yeah, female human voice. For me, that's the most reliable thing. Maria's my favorite. For a long time, my favorite was Whisper Crystal, but, she doesn't put out anything anymore, so I still really enjoy her stuff. I'll go back to it every once in a while and kind of binge on it, just for whatever. Also, AS Marvelous. I really like her. I'm really bummed that she stopped doing stuff. I do occasionally listen to guys like the French Whisperer every once in a while. And what is it? I think it's ASM Arctica. I think he's Swedish. I think. I might be wrong in that. He does interesting stuff. I'm trying to think what else I've been watching. I like, I've been watching a few reruns of 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown. I don't really like just 8 out of 10 Cats, but I like 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown. But I really like Sean Locke. I'm really, bummed out that he died, but I think he's a great comedian, and he was great on that show. So I rewatch a lot of those episodes from time to time, and I have been doing that now and again over the last couple of weeks. It's a bit kind of nostalgic and sad in some ways because I miss the talent of Sean Locke, but it is good that his material is still out in the world, so that those of us who dig his stuff can still do so. Anyway, let me say some comments before I go to the break here. Oh, okay, I don't know Mythical Kitchen. I'll have to check that out. Okay, wait, I think that. Huh. accents, huh? Okay. Oh, what's the guy? Massage ASMR. I do like him. I forgot about him. He's really good. He's really, really good. Oops, there we go. Time for the break. Okay, I'll be back in just a couple minutes. All right, let's see what I've missed. Oh, by the way, see, I'm going to do some skateboard stuff here in a minute. Let me catch up on the comments. Okay, here we go. Southern ASMR, I saw that. Yeah. Hey, boss, how's it going? Huh, I'll have to check her out. Southern ASMR sounds right. Oh, let me get this there, like that. Let's do some spinning of wheels. Here's the quiet bearings there. Hey, Vexlink, how's it going? How is it in the world of music? I shouldn't say music. Music. Yeah, that reminds me of a thing. I remember coming across this piece of information ages and ages ago, and I don't know if it's urban legend stuff or whether it's real, but the thing that I came across was that Ted Nugent tried to buy the Muzak company, like elevator Muzak company, and they were actually in negotiations about it, but what they found out is he was going to buy it to dismantle it, because he didn't like Muzak so much, so he was going to buy it and shut it down. And when they found that out, they declined to do business with him. So, I don't know, I wouldn't put it past Ted Nugent, As a teenage boy, I quite liked his stuff, as you might imagine, because of the whole, like Wayne Dang, Speak Boomtang, and all that kind of crap. Which is right up a 13-year-old's alley, isn't it, And he's a talented guitarist, I'll give him that. Especially when he's using that big old Birdland, because that thing will feed back like a mofo. But he manages to keep it. And I'll give him that. He's a talented guy. But man, I can't stand his politics and some of his just. Although it reminds me of a story. I saw him being interviewed once, and I just watched a few minutes of it because it started getting really uncomfortable. Because the person doing the interview was this young woman who's about, I don't know, maybe maybe 30. She was very attractive. And he started his whole, Ted Nugent, I'm Ted Nugent thing. But this was really just a few years ago, so he's an old man at this point, right? And she was just like, huh? Like his whole deal she wasn't, she wasn't a groupie or anything. She was just like, it's like, what, and it was being really uncomfortable because you could tell that he didn't know how to deal with her because she didn't respond to his, being the alpha guy that, gets all the chicks kind of thing. You don't know what Muzak is, Hong Kong? You've heard elevator music, right? Or maybe I don't know, maybe because I haven't heard it in a gazillion years. I don't know. I think it's probably got turned off, but it's just music that's like music for people who don't like music. I don't know if anybody ever suggested or if I just started doing it because I like it. And also I think I started doing it because I was showing off the skateboard because I found it. And this is my original Fiberflex, but you can see it's kind of beat up from like 77, 78, something like that. I found it going through some stuff. And I had to buy the new wheels and trucks because, just because all I had was the deck. And so I got these Bennett Vectors because I was riding back in the day Bennett Pros, but they don't make that anymore. So Bennett Vectors that's their latest current product. And then these hog wheels, it wasn't the brand I used, but I couldn't remember the name of the brand I used back in the day, but they were red urethane wheels. They were smaller than these, but I got large soft wheels because I'm not going to do any tricks or anything. I haven't even ridden it outside yet. I just ride it around in my room because I have a concrete floor in here. That is a nice sound, though. Okay. I didn't know Ted Nugent did get sick. Hey, Vibia. Oh, okay. Man, MSC, you totally got me. Dude, sometimes you just slay me. Holy mackerel. What I thought I might do in conjunction with, because I do have the Labradorite, which will be coming up soon. But I just thought it might be fun and interesting. What if I traced the stickers? Right? You know what I mean? It's like Fiberflex, right? The F there. All the way around like that. And the I. And the B. And the R. And the E. And another F. And an L. And the E. And the X. Maybe I should trace this with something else. I guess I could use this. Oh, they're put away. I won't get it, but I have some, in the little toolbox I have some probes from back in the day when I used to know something about, electronics and could solder things and the like. So let's see about this. Maybe this will be an interesting thing to do, if I can get a good way of comfortably holding it. It'll go around, huh? And we'll do the red bit here for the Gordon and Smith logo. Yeah, how's that? No, I don't shred on skates. I was never very good at tricks anyway, man. I mostly just liked, riding ramps and that kind of thing, and occasionally a pool, that kind of thing. But this was basically just a street riding thing. I just cruised around on it. From the shape of it, because the way the trucks are so close to both the front and the back, I suppose it could be used for slalom, maybe, I just used it for cruising around, though. And then I did have what I liked riding ramps and stuff with. I had a West Humston Dogtown with some independent trucks and these wheels that were called Power Paw, and they had AZF German bearings in it. That was like the super quiet, fast bearings of the day back then. I don't even know if they still make them anymore, to be honest. I'm going to do the hogs one upside down because it's just too awkward to hold that up like that. There we go. God, it's really weird to try to All right, we might revisit that some more later, and maybe I'll even do some tapping on the board too. Okay, holy mackerel, are we already 7 minutes away from another break? Man, time's going fast today, isn't it? Well, I think for the last little bit of time here, I will do some of the jar sound, because I like that noise. The jar noises. Oh man, that's one thing I miss about the thank you button on the old live streams, right? Remember I used to do the and the crowd goes on. Oh well. I just thought, as this is a bit lighter, maybe this would be better. Oh, you know what I could use for when I trace the stickers? I'll come back to doing the jar in just a second. I could just use a mechanical pencil and just put the lead in. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll do. I don't know, I'll figure something out. Oh, here, because it's on my desk. I usually keep it in a box over there. But, so Kate Manda, here's my my platinum Profont, right? So it's just, your basic little I think it costs $11. Anyway. Man, I could seriously spend a buttload of money on pens. I don't know. Every once in a while I go to the Goulet pen website, and man, there's some pens like these Japanese pens, where these guys do this crazy, like it's called Rushi or something like that. I can't remember. There's all these weird terms and stuff, and it's just like, and Rodden, and I don't know. It's like inlaying stuff into the lacquer that's on the surface of the pen. It's like, they're like thousands of dollars, but it's like these, they're more like objects of art, you know what I mean? Than just being a pen. But holy mackerel. All right, we don't want to, oops. Don't bang things, Bill. Let me see what. What's $70,000? What is that referring to? I think I missed something. Oh, I just saw your comment about your jokes being for old people, MSC. Yeah. Those of us who were kids back in the 70s. Oh, were you talking about the pen? Okay, I get it now. Man, that's crazy expensive. I'm really curious to try some of the Lamy pens. Well, especially, I guess the thing to get would be the Safari, isn't it? But I like the idea that almost all their nibs will fit almost all their pens, you know what I mean? So imagine getting a Lamy Safari for like 30 whatever bucks, and then you put a gold Lamy nib in it. I mean, I'm tempted to do that just for that, you know? Have you ever written with a gold nib, Kate Manda? Oh yeah, MASH, yeah. That was huge back in the day, man. And it did so well for so long. Did you ever used to watch that, and I'm sorry, I'm speaking to Kate Mann because we're talking about the pens all of a sudden. The Goulet, you know, they used to do this podcast thing, but one of the dudes that was doing it left the company, so they stopped doing them. I used to like watching that. I don't like MASH. this stretch. It was kind of an entertaining show to watch about pens. Oops, there we go. Break time. Okie doke, I hear ya, I hear ya. Anyway, I'll be right back, guys. Let's go to the... Okay, now I'm back. So I think, you know what, I just realized it's this one here. I bumped it, and I didn't realize I bumped it that hard, so let's bring it this way a little bit better. There we go. I know some of you are like me and you like to be able to see the sound as it's being made, not just, you know, hearing it. Although sometimes, because I bought one of those where they cover your eyes, so it's like a blackout mask, but they have headphones for the ears, and it's a little Wi-Fi thing, so I can wear it when I'm laying on my recliner or in my bed, and I don't have to worry about a cable. That's kind of a convenient thing, but yeah. Okay, so what's next? How about this thing? Wow, Rock'em Sock'em Robots. I forgot all about those, man. You know, I had a friend that had one of those, and his broke really easily. Like, I went over to his house and we played on it one day, and that was fine. And then a few days later, I was like, hey, blah, blah, I was going to maybe come by his house and after school or something. And I said, hey, maybe we could play that Rock'em Sock'em thing again. He's like, nah, it's broken already. So I don't know what he did, but he broke it. I think he got it for his birthday or something. Yeah, I do too, Stephanie. I have 2 of these big pieces. I'm trying to think of I have kind of some vague ideas, but I think I'm going to try to use them in an SPV thing. 'Cause I haven't done any of those in a long time. I'm going to start making more of those. Hey, Anukura Sunny. I think I'm just going to call you Sunny. Have we had that conversation already? Man, that's the bad thing about the only real downside to this is that I'm one of me and you guys are many. And so it's easy for me to lose track of y'all. Especially given the fact that I have a fairly abused brain. Sally, 6 hours. And you should, well, I don't know, should you be hanging out with us or should you be just going straight to bed? Oh, hey, Ben, I just saw your comment just now. Hey, how's it going, man? Glad you could make it. Hey, Justin, how's it going? I think I like this about the same as I like that. Oh, here, let's have a contest. That one or this one. Ooh. All right, here's the magical crinkle. Wow, you're up early, Ben. So, did you get a decent amount of sleep? Sorry to hear that, Ben. Well, hopefully you'll be able to get some more sleep later. Oh, you know, I do have the snack bar wrapper. Let's go ahead and set this aside. Let's get out the bag-o crinkle. I just put it all in this paper shopping bag, so which itself does some okay crinkling. So let's see what we will do. Use the big bag. We'll do. This is a decent sound, but I want. Here we go. Let's put this over here. Stay there. Okay. Yeah. Some plain craft paper, that would be fantastic. Or dunnage. I bet dunnage would be good too. Which is essentially the same thing as newsprint, really, but use it for packaging. I think that was about the heaviest thing I had to move around when I worked at Aero Paper. I think one of those packages of dunnage was about 70 pounds. I didn't have anything that was any heavier than that, really. Man, and because every once in a while we'd ship that stuff to people. Like, why would you find someplace local to buy that? The shipping of it was really just crazy expensive. But we had to put stickers on them. Anything over 50 pounds, you had to put stickers on them. I think it was 50 pounds. You know, for the, don't hurt your back stickers for the guys in FedEx and UPS. Peanut butter and jelly. Yeah, I love peanut butter and jelly. I'm out of bread. I have to go to the store tomorrow. So I didn't have any peanut butter I ran out of bread yesterday morning. I had a piece of toast, and that was like the last heel of a piece of, for toast in the morning with my hot morning beverage. Trying to think, what have I not got to tonight as far as triggers? Yeah, no kidding. Yeah, we sold the rolls too, but the thing I was thinking of was these flat packs. It was just laid out flat. They were like, well, it's like newsprint, about the same size as newsprint. I mean, it probably was exactly the same thing as newsprint, frankly. Well, the packaging stuff I have is just, stuff that came in actual packaging. I don't have any just raw craft paper. I mean, I could tear up a paper bag. I mean, that's what that is made of. It's just different weights of, like, shopping bags are, probably basis weight about 60, I think. That seems heavy enough to be that, maybe. Yeah. Oh, I hadn't, I don't have anything set up to play game-wise tonight. I mean, I could if you all want me to. But since I did so much game playing last time, I thought I'd do mostly triggers this time. I mean, I can be flexible, though. I mean, if you guys are really had your heart set on it, I mean, None of this is written in stone. Yeah, I mean, what do you guys think? Are the rest of you kind of game for K-diamonds for part of a segment next break? Or after this break? Let's see, what time is it now? It's this thing here is about to do, so there's going to be 2 more segments. And it's not that big a deal for me to set it up. It's just, you know, fiddling around with drop-down menus in OBS. Well, and starting off the program too. So it would take a minute, I guess, but yeah. Yeah, I know you are, K-Man. I know you like the K-diamonds. Hey, how's it going? Is this Testo Duo? Okay, I'll do a little bit of K-diamonds, maybe for half of the next segment. Bonus hour with gaming. Hey, Rob. Okay, I'm going to switch this off and, or not switch it off, but switch. Let's do, there, stay there. Okay. A big bag. Big plastic bag. Crinkly noises are good noises. The two Stephanies win. Hey, Penn's Hat. Hello, back to you from California. So I guess when we come back from the next break that's about to happen, I will set up K-diamonds and we'll do that for, I don't know, near 10 minutes or so. Okay, when I said people shouldn't live where they work, I was talking specifically about the building, right? The idea of, like, if you're going to have a building, like an apartment building being run by something that would be like a hotel by my estimations, that the people that work there should be the people who own the thing, right? So it should be owned collectively by the people who work there. And I just think it's a bad idea that if you work there, like housekeeping or repairs or even, you know, concierge or, you know, front desk, you know, whatever, manager office type thing, you know, you want to be able to go home. Right. But if you have your, like, own small business and you know, whether it's a storefront and you live above the storefront, I think that's fine. Oopsie daisy, there goes the thing. All right, so I'll be back in just a sec. So let's see, here I am here. So I have to get this to be, where is K Diamonds? There we go. There we go. Is it? Yeah, it looks like it's set up right. Let me get OBS out of my way. Let me turn on game sounds. All right. Let me do this. There we go. Okay, we should be good to go. Let me know if the audio is good because I didn't have time to test it, right? And well, see, I did get the right window. All right, here we go. Okay, something weird happening there for a second. But it has now ceased being the way. Okay. God, I just get so mesmerized by this stuff. The weird little gem shapes and... Okay, thanks, Stephanie, and Around the Block. Let's do that one. And we'll do that one. Wait, that's not going to work. Oh, yeah, well, I go this way. Oh, well, see, this one isn't online. This one is, it's called K Diamonds. I don't know if you can make it out near the top. I guess you can't because it doesn't really want to fit in the window. Oh, here, let me see if I can, if I pull it down, will it show it? I guess not really. Anyway, it's called K Diamonds. K for like KDE, like, you know, the desktop nonsense in Linux. So I don't know if they would have one, you know, that would fly on other platforms or not. Oh, they do have one? Thanks for Around the Block. That one went for a sec. I like it when they go, like, when it really goes, you know what I mean, for a long time. Every once in a while I'll get one that just, like, seems to go for ages. And it's very satisfying. I tend to call everything nonsense div. It's just that. It's been okay. Thanks for asking, Desto. Got a little bit of housework done. Although while I was doing the housework today, or just, you know, picking crap up and, yeah, I don't know. I was listening to music while I was doing it, and I was listening to music on Spotify, and instead of just using one of their playlists, I actually put in that what I wanted to hear was the Devo's Are We Not Men album, and I was listening to it kind of quite loud, and then an ad came on. I couldn't get across the room fast enough to mute it. It was just so loud. I didn't even think about the fact that, dude, you don't have the free version. Boy, there's nothing that's... I mean, I don't mind ads, frankly, but ads don't play well loud as far as I'm concerned. Just zoning out. I'll go there. What kind of music do I like? Lots. Well, I was listening to Devo earlier, so that gives you an idea on that. And then that was followed by Japan. Earlier in the day, I was listening to a playlist that was playing a lot of Can and Noi. Popovol and that kind of stuff. Earlier in the day, I was listening to a whole playlist that was like a lot of Return to Forever and Weather Report and a lot of post-Davis, Miles Davis guys. You know what I mean? The whole jazz fusion thing that grew out of former members of, Miles Davis's bands. So, I mean, I like a lot of stuff. I like I like a certain amount of punk rock type stuff. I like, industrial, but I think industrial like, not so much Nine Inch Nails, but more like Throbbing Gristle and Cabaret Voltaire. I like a certain amount of rap, especially like Eric B. and Rakim or NWA. That one, Fear of a Black Planet, that was Public Enemy, right? That was a good album. I don't know. I like a lot of stuff. I like Laurie Anderson. I like Brian Eno. I don't know. I like Blossom Dearie. A lot of people know Blossom Dearie anymore. If I could sing better, I'd sing one of her songs, but oh, right. Yeah, I'll probably do the lullaby near the end, though, because that just seems to be the best time to do that, because it's such a wind down kind of a thing. So probably for the last several minutes of the stream, I'll probably do the lullaby stuff. I did a video on the original channel when it was still a pretty young channel, where I kind of made up my own lullaby. I should probably revisit that, because I don't even remember how it goes or anything, you know what I mean? I have to go learn my own song. Lullaby to him. Oh, okay, ads are awful. That's what. Oh, that's one thing I'm afraid of. When you guys watch my videos on this channel, do they do mid-roll ads? Because since I haven't monetized it, I have no control over their policy that they can, if they so choose, monetize for themselves your material. That's why, well, that's initially what prompted me to monetize this channel. And then I went, well, since I can't get a job anyway, maybe I ought to, put my efforts into it and see what I could make happen. So we'll see. But yeah, it's like, and when I did have the original channel, when it was monetized, I kept getting these little nudges from YouTube, like, you'd do better money-wise if you'd let us do the mid-roll ads. I mean, they didn't word it that way, but that's more or less what they're saying. And I'm just like, it's an ASMR channel. That's completely not going to work. People don't want to be chilling out and relaxing or studying or, getting their tingle on or whatever, and then suddenly have some guy come and scream in their ear about how you got to buy this Ford truck, Anyway. How much time we got? Okay. What am I doing here? That's not going to go that way. Let's do this way. Okay, you know what? I'll do this for a few more minutes, and then I'll switch to something else. Trying to think of what I should switch to. So I'm trying to, what I haven't done yet is I haven't done tracing on the Labradorite. I should probably do that. So I'm going to do that. Let's do that. I'm going to switch over. Let's do this real quick. There we go. And let's switch over to, here, let me do this first. Like that. And we'll do this like that. Okay. All right, so. I'm going to have to clean this thing because I use it as my coaster on my desk now in the morning when I'm, having my morning warm beverages. What kind of stuff do we talk about here? I don't know. Whatever I feel like. Okay. I guess I will do the letters first this time. Okay. Actually, you know what? I'll do both the capitals and the lowercase, but I'll do capitals first. And, okay, Stephanie. All right, so we'll do the capitals first. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. so that's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. Now I will do the numbers, or the digits anyway. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There we go. How much time we have left? We're down to about a minute. So I'll just babble, I guess. Oh, this stuff, what this is, it's a piece of labradorite. I don't know, my uncle has all these weird, well, he's dead now, but he had all these weird pieces of stone that this is one of. If you go to my original channel and you'll watch a video called Lapidus Moleum, which is my crummy attempt at Latin that means something to the effect of malleable stone or soft stone or something like that. Yeah, something like that. Anyway, and you'll see a bunch of them. I kind of have it laid out. So you can, yeah, it's kind of, yeah, I don't know. I like it. It's kind of a mildly NNSBB thing. You're actually falling asleep. Well, if you need to sleep, Stephanie, go to sleep. Oops, there goes the break thing again. So I will be back in just a minute. So I am back. And I'm going to go ahead and turn off the white clock. I think we won't need it anymore because we only got 16 minutes left, so, or thereabouts, yeah. So what will I do before I start doing the lullaby? I guess I'll just, is there something I've forgotten? I did the jar, I've done some crinkly stuff. I did the skateboard, I did the tracing, I did the beard brush, I did the other brush, I did the wood. I feel like I'm forgetting something. I'm going to drink water. Oh, I've made one. So I guess I'll just talk about some of the stuff that's going on. I made a video that is going to be, it's a walkthrough of me doing Trace, that game Trace. And anyway, so I found several games that are made by the same company as well as some other ones. So I think that's another thing that I will do. That they'll probably be, some of them will end up on the free YouTube, and some will end up on the new regime of the Patreon. How many people are here now? Maybe should I do another recap of the Patreon, or should I just let people go watch it on the replay? What do you think? You know what I didn't do tonight is I haven't done the brush over there, whisper over here thing, which I kind of like doing. So I'll do the brushing over there while I'm whispering over here. Okay, Kate Mantis says I should do over. Well, I will follow Kate Mantis' advice. And then I will do this. And then let me just do the recap, and then I'll go back to brushing on stuff, and then I'll do a lullaby. Okay, so what's going to happen on basic just YouTube? You can just watch me on YouTube, and who cares? There will be Mind Test Mondays. Will happen on the first Monday of the month, and that'll be the only one that happens there for that. And then the rest of the Mondays will be the other gaming videos. So it'll be like Mastermind and Minesweeper and etc. And then there'll be a couple of other videos. Well, like you're saying, I'll do another video here and there, and I'm going to try and do more shorts as well. So that's what's going to be happening on just basic YouTube. Now on Patreon, because I'm going to have more stuff there, because I'm trying to become more professional, I guess. So if you join the Patreon, free Patreon, which you can do, you'll be able to see, because there will be a Mind Test Monday every Monday, but you'll have to come, except for the first one at the beginning of the month, you'll have to come to Patreon to watch them. And that's the idea, is just to get people to come to Patreon and check it out. And so there you go. But if you pay for the $1 a month, what you're going to be buying is convenience, because what I'm really going to do is all of the videos, all of the Monday videos, so the Mind Test Mondays that will be on Patreon, and the rest of the game videos that will be on YouTube, all of those will be actually on either on Patreon or YouTube as of that first Monday of the month. So if you pay the $1 a month, you'll be able to watch all of those at the very beginning of the month. You don't have to wait for them to come out on the month, right? So that's basically what you're paying for, is convenience. Now, if you pay $2 a month, because there's going to be a $2 tier, that's a new thing. I'm going to be doing, there will be more of and longer, nicer versions of the other stuff, like shows and tells and story times and that kind of stuff. So if you really like that stuff, then you need to pay $2 a month, and that stuff will be available through the Patreon. And the last level I'm going to do is a $5 a month level, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to be reading, at least at the beginning, it may evolve as time goes on, it's going to be Victorian era literature porn, which I have to be careful about, because there's certain things that Patreon will allow me to do and not do. And for example, like this book that I have called The Pearl, which is a collection of stuff that was from this sort of zine, street magazine sort of thing that was available in Victorian England, that was just straight up literature porn. And man, the British during the Victorian era got up to some there was rape fantasy stuff, incest fantasy stuff, of course, lots of class stuff, the boss screwing the maid, and just all kinds of course, BDSM type stuff, just, wow. And it's all this Victorian properness, It's like, man, but what they got up to, what I mean? So there you go. So there's the basic tiers. I'm hoping to have this all roll out at the beginning of March. Actually, just the Monday stuff will be out, I'm pretty sure, by the 1st of March. The $2 tier and the $5 tier may roll out later in the month, or maybe beginning of April, depending on how I can, just get the ball rolling on everything. Because I'm trying to set it up so I can do it in a comfortable enough workflow that I'll be able to maintain it. You know what I mean? because if I'm going to be taking money from you guys, I should be able to deliver. So, yeah, so there it is. There's the basic recap. I'm going to make a video explaining it all in, like, careful detail and all of that. That I'll put one up both on the Patreon, of course, but it'll also show up here on YouTube. So, that way everybody will know what's what. Okay, here, Stephanie has a random question. When I got married, we did a pretty big thing. But yeah, it was fun. I mean, it was a good time. Yeah. This was back because when I was dating her and then we married is when I was playing in bands in San Diego. And so pretty much everybody that showed up were guys, because all of my friends were either girls that I had made friends with through her, or they were guys that I knew from the music scene or having been in bands and, that kind of thing. I mean, that was pretty much my entire friend group, really. I mean, there was a few people that fell outside of that, but yeah, the vast majority of my friends were other musicians in other bands, or the guys in the bands I was playing with. So, yeah. So I don't know what to say. I think there might be something fun about just going and doing it, and then, not telling anybody until after, and then maybe throw a party, more low-key, kind of just cocktail party at your house kind of thing. I don't know, that might be kind of fun. A Sokoban video. I have to find a Sokoban that I like. The website doesn't render properly anymore. It's like it has missing images or something, or the links are broken, or that's my suspicion, is the links are broken somehow. But I don't think anybody was maintaining it. You know what I mean? I think there's people that were making, I think there was people that were just, making, because it did have a way where you could make your own Sokobans and make them available to people. And I think that's more or less how the new puzzles were getting put up. I don't think anybody was officially managing it really anymore. I think they just kind of put it up and let it run. So I don't know. There's a game that is essentially Sokoban as far as the play of it. That's a thing I have on my desktop for Linux, but I don't like the aesthetics of it, so I don't want to use it for a video, just because I just don't like the way it looks. So I'm not going to do it. But so I'm hoping I can find one that I do like, and when I do, then I will. I'm really very frustrated because that one had such a wealth of puzzles. There was just so many of them on there, and some of them were really, really very difficult that I found very challenging. So, yeah, I don't know. That's a bit disappointing for me as well, but yeah, that is the state of what it is. Aloha turned into fall asleep. Right on. So, I don't know. Is 7 minutes too much for a length of time for lullabies? Before I start doing the lullaby, I'll do a little bit more of the jar. I'll just do that for a couple of minutes, and then we'll do lullaby on the way out. But I'm glad it was. Well, it's glad to have you back, Stephanie. I'm glad that you're better off in the present now. The jar filled, yeah. Excuse me. You know what? I think now's a good time to start doing the closeout lullaby at my half-assed attempt at not really remembering how the melody goes for Brahms' lullaby. Do 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 do. La da 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 da. La da da. La da da. La da 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 da. La da da da. La da da da. La da 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 da. La da da. La da da. Do 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 do. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da da. La da da. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. La da 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 da. La da da. La da da. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. La da da. La da da. La da da. Okay, gang, that's going to be a wrap for tonight. I hope you all had a good time. I certainly did. Hope to see you guys all next Saturday. And also, yeah, I'll look out for, the video that will be explaining, the whole thing with the tiers if you didn't hear it yet already. Or you could just rewatch this or something to see the new tiers for Patreon or the explanation thereof. And let's see, this Monday will be a Mind Test Monday. And because we're not doing the regime thing won't start until probably, I guess it's the 2nd of March, something like that. I think it's that Monday. Yeah, I think whatever the first Monday is, that's when it will be. But this Monday is going to be, it's already actually recorded, so I'm not doing the Make Mind Test Mondays on Mondays, you know, the Monday it's released anymore. I've already broken that, so yeah, so that's, anyway, that's it, gang. Good night, and aloha, siblings.